This is the Southside School of Financial Freedom Market Report and Small Account Update for the week ending October 26, 2024. The market finished mixed this week. The Dow Jones Industrial Average decreased minus 0.61% on Friday and was down minus 2.68% for the week. The S&P 500 decreased minus 0.03% on Friday and was down minus 0.96% for the week. The Nasdaq increased 0.56% on Friday and was up 0.16% for the week. Looking at the week, we can see that there were 5 up finishes versus 10 down finishes for the major index. On Monday and Tuesday, the Dow Jones Industrial Average and the S&P 500 finished down, while the Nasdaq finished up. On Wednesday, all the major indexes finished down. On Thursday, the Dow Jones Industrial Average finished down, while the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq finished up. And on Friday, the Dow Jones Industrial Average and the S&P 500 finished down again, while the Nasdaq finished up. How did you do? My small account finished 2.62% higher and generated cash flow of 3.59%. Even when the market falls and or my account doesn't do well, I still get income or cash flow by selling covered calls and naked puts. This method does not only guarantee cash flow or income, it can also beat the S&P 500. I created a watch list I use to determine which options of stocks that I may want to sell. Looking at my watch list from the week, the strongest performer on the list was IonQ Incorporated, ticker symbol IONQ, in the second column. It was up 7.96% on Friday and increased 27.52% for the week. IonQ Incorporated develops general-purpose quantum computing systems in the United States. They sell access to quantum computers of various qubit capabilities. The company makes access to its quantum computers through cloud platforms such as Amazon Web Services, Amazon Bracket, Microsoft Azure Quantum, and Google's Cloud Marketplace, as well as through its own service. IonQ also provides contracts associated with the design, development, and construction of specialized quantum computing hardware systems, maintenance and support services, and consulting services related to co-developing algorithms on quantum computing systems. Looking at a summary of results, IonQ has increased almost 37% year to date. I generated cash flow from IonQ this week. And this week, I generated cash flow from selling 5 option contracts, 1 call, and 4 puts that range from $10.34 to $62.34. It was on Monday when I sold 3 puts, one for $62.34, one for $42.34, and one for $25.34. On Tuesday, I sold another put for $22.34. And then on Friday, I sold a call for $10.34. That's a total of $162.70, which is not a lot of money, but the account is small. $162.70 in cash flow was 3.59% of my account value. With this system, the cash flow money is free and clear. You can take it out of your account and spend it, or leave it in to build your cash balance and or invest it. To increase the amount of cash flow, I would have to use a larger account. For example, to 10x the cash flow to $1,627, I would use a larger account, and instead of selling 1 of everything that I sold, I would sell 10. This strategy is guaranteed to produce cash flow immediately and every week that it is applied. However, it does not guarantee the amount of cash flow from week to week, nor the value of your account. The amount varies and the account value varies. Despite the variations in amount and value, the goal is to generate cash flow and beat the S&P 500. Please note that most professional money managers and their strategies do not consistently beat the S&P 500 every year. They usually lose, and they lose by a lot. Last year, this method beat the SP 500 by almost 12%, but in 2024, my account is down minus 6.9% versus 21.82% up for SPY and S&P 500 ETF. That's a difference of 28.72%. So I am losing to the S&P 500 by almost 29%. It is not unusual to beat the S&P 500 one year and then lose to the index the next year. And that's what I am doing in 2024. I am still trailing SPY, but I have made gains on it in the last few weeks. Do you think it's time to throw in the towel on the cash flow system beating the S&P 500 this year? Or will I continue to make gains for the rest of the year? Tune in next week to find out what happens. Bitcoin watch. Bitcoin decreased minus 2.07% this past week, and it is down minus 9.03% from its all-time high. However, it is up almost 60% year to date. Some people believe Bitcoin is the most transformative financial asset in 1,000 years. I think the best course of action is to dollar cost average, that is DCA into the SP 500 and DCA into Bitcoin at a 30 to 70% ratio for the next 10 years, and or up to when you have invested at least $10,000. I have implemented a similar strategy where I have a portfolio that is about 70% in a Bitcoin ETF, and after 19 weeks, it is up 7.44%. The SP 500 ETF SPY is up 6.68%, and the cash flow system is up 6.82% in those 19 weeks. What do you think? What is your strategy? Do you know how to produce cash flow every week and beat the SP 500? Do you invest in Bitcoin, which may prove to be the smartest investment of the decade? As you develop, analyze, and implement your strategy, please check back to see how my small account and my Bitcoin dominant account performs against the SP 500 from week to week by liking, sharing, and subscribing. Thank you.